Hi, this is Cameron, and today I'm going to be discussing the Building Block 2.3 report and research in progress that I have going on right now. So, the first question is to discuss the sources that I found so far and their credibility. So far, I have found a couple of different sources since my question mixes two different topics, which is audience and rhetorical situation. I wanted to find background on both. So I first started off by copying and pasting my question into Google search, which is probably the most common thing that all of us have been doing. And my question is, how do authors decide how rhetorical situation can modify the audience's experience? So I first found a good article from Purdue's online writing lab, the OWL, that talks about audiences and its background. Then from the same site, I also found Elements on Rhetorical Situation, which applies to all of it, really. And then I found a site that had context behind rhetorical situations, which talks a lot of detail about the audience and like what they look for and how they kind of put it together, which was a good one. So then the credibility for me would be they'd probably be very good sites to use. I think considering that they're all giving much detail about the question and what I need to answer it. The second question that we're supposed to answer is to provide details about each source and which has made it a viable source and how to imagine each one effectively supporting my ideas. So, like I mentioned, and I just said, the sources that I found using a Google search, which was pretty simple. In a way, I feel that I have found a bunch of reasons, so I put them all together to find my final answer, which will probably be what I will have to end up doing. I think that both sources that I found so far have worked pretty well, considering that I've jotted down a lot of information. The third question is, which source do I think will work best? I did find a small article that talked about rhetorical situation and audience all in one, and it was a guide to writing, and it was pretty well. Pretty well. It had a circle table and it had how all of them go together, which I really think that one might be very easy for me to kind of use to make sure that I have exact points and data to back up what I'm trying to answer. Which source I found by conducting research that I have discarded. I found a small article that talked about audience, but I'm not going to use it just considering it doesn't include what I'm looking for, because it just mainly talked about how you want to make the audience happy and how you don't want them to, sit there in silence and stuff like that. And I just don't really think that goes into what I'm talking about. So the next is discuss a source you're considering, but I'm still unsure about. And I wanted to use a writer's point of view. So I wanted to find an interview with maybe a famous writer, or like one that made a famous book. So, and how they came up with their idea. But I don't know if it will, have an answer to the exact question, because they might not have gone into a lot of detail about rhetorical situation. They probably talk about how they wanted to make their audience feel, but I want to see how they include that into their topic as well. And the last question is identify what's missing in my research and to speculate about the information that I'm still seeking from additional sources. I feel like what I'm missing from my research is an author themselves, which is what I kind of just talked about. So I need to do some more digging for sure. And hopefully I'll be successful at finding the information. That was probably the only thing that I have to do some more jotting down on. So, yeah, that is it. That is what I have so far. Thank you for listening.